when I decided to go to college, it was between Duquesne and Clarion, and I took Duquesne. And ironic, when I went to the Army, when I was at Duquesne as a freshman, Phil Alvish was the coach. The Korean War started, went in, he was my company commander when I went to the service. And when I came out and LaVerne and I got married, I bought all my furniture off of him. He had the salvage furniture store. But Phil always had a big influence on me, and it was a connection through Duquesne. I hitchhiked for 4 years, and I was never late for a class. And what made it nice, in my senior year, even the women stopped to pick me up. They figured I must have been safe because I was there for 3 years. Once a week I had to wear a Rodersea uniform when I was a freshman. And I wore this Rodersea uniform and I hitchhiked, and this truck stopped and he says, "Come on, soldier, I know where you're going." And he brings me all the way down to the P&L East Railroad Station. I still had to walk all the way back up to Duquesne. The campus was just like there was no trees or anything, not too much. You had the administration building and you had the Cannon Hall, and then we had down in Fitzsimmons building on 4th Avenue. I used to have classes, one on a hill, and then I would go down on Fitzsimmons and come back up again. And I always used to say that when you left Duquesne, you were not only mentally fit, but you were physically fit. The quality of education was very good. In fact, in my senior year, or junior and senior, they brought professors in from the Ivy League. And the classes were not big, they were small. I had a class in accounting with 7 of us. In fact, the guy that sat right across from me was Dan Rooney, who was the head of the Steelers today. And the professors really took their time to make sure that you got their point. And that's what I liked about it. I came back and I was called by an insurance agent, broker. He wanted me to go in. And at that time I got married in my senior year. And I told LaVerne, he says, he wants me to go with him. She said, "Well, Tony, you're young enough, try it. If it isn't any good," he says, "you can always quit, and you're young enough to start into another career." And I went in and I became successful with it. And then I left him after 10 years and I opened up my own business. And you talk about the value of Duquesne education. When I was a junior, I took all the accounting. Even though I was a management major, I took all my electives were all accounting, and one of them was income tax accounting. And I took that, and when I started my business, I needed ready cash coming in, and or good cash flow. And I went into income tax, and I gave it to me, and with that, I helped me with my insurance and real estate business. So I ran for tax collector. And I beat my former boss, who was the keystone of the Democratic Party. So when I won, I hadn't even been sworn in yet. The politicians from Washington sent Dave Sweet down, and Dave says, "Tony, they want you to run for state legislature." I says, "Dave, I can't do that." I says, "I got this business going, and I said, I got 4 little kids that I got to raise." I says, "I have all the qualities for it. I know government. I'm willing to serve, and I will answer any questions that the people would want, and whatever their desires was, I would try to fulfill." And I says, "But you're young." I said, you're not married. You don't have no kid. You should run." So he decided to run in my place, and then he ran. And then 12 years later, he came to me and he says, "Look," he says, "I got a little kids now." He says, "Your kids are all grown up, they're gone up." He says, "And you know government and I know government," and he gave me the same spill I gave him. He says, "Now you should run." And and that's how I got into being a state legislature. So I served there for 10 years. Then I came back. The mayor had died in Canonsburg, and I was approached by council to become the mayor. So I served 10 years as the mayor.
I think it's a superior education to a lot of other colleges. I never went to college, wasn't lucky enough, but it's close. It's a good school, it has a wonderful reputation, and it's Catholic. That was a big thing with me.
We've been blessed, we did well, and I believe in giving back. And Duquesne helped me. I was looking at a lot of other programs where they just give the scholarship and the children or the student picks their own college. I didn't like that. I wanted to have something that they would go to a specific college, and I knew Duquesne was right. I wanted anyone that went from Cannon McMillan or Canonsburg that applied to Duquesne and needed financial help, that they would be there for them to help. It would be all taxable if I would take it out. So this way here, I gave it that way. Well, I wanted to do something for Duquesne, and this was the painless way of doing it.